Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star based on novel. So let's start. Those who were able to rush over immediately were definitely the strongest of the human camp warriors in twin whirlpools. Tens of teams plus the initial 3, a total of close to 90 warriors were present. Amongst which, there were over 30 pinnacle soul masters and emperor limits. Blade River is retired. Hee. I heard his body is about emperor pinnacle strength, yet is able to kill so many powerful warriors. He must have some true treasures. Right, back then he forced Blood Beast away, killed Purple Clock, and forced Heavy Arrow into a coma, and then turned him into a slave. He relied on the strongest flame god crystal. However, he wasn't even harmed by it. I don't believe that he has some powerful defensive treasures. And recently he massacred so many. It seems like his strength must have grown further, and also he must have some new treasures. Attention all, the other race team has already been forced away by Blade River. Tien Chen has been saved by Blade River already. That other race team was said to have several emperor limits and 2 true treasures, yet they were forced away by Blade River. This Blade River is too strong, he must have more than 1 true treasure. Close to 90 warriors of the human camp floated about, all staring at the silver-armored and winged youth. Luo Feng gazed around. Even though they were all from the human camp, there was only 1 true human amongst them, the rest were from other races. Cha Mang Emperor, you wouldn't think of making a move on me too, would you? Luo Feng looked straight at the human. As Blade River, he had gotten to know many emperors within the Hong Alliance, and this was one he was an acquaintance with. Of course not. I only came here because Tien Chen was in trouble. I came to deal with the other race team. Why would I attack someone of the same race? He stood among the many warriors and looked around, his voice booming like thunder, spreading far and wide. Blade River is a human warrior, even though he's retired, he is still human. About 1/3 of you here are from the Hong Alliance. Are you all going to attack a human warrior? No. We won't interfere in this, we came here for the other race team. We won't interfere. Many Hong Alliance members immediately said. Since they were from the Hong Alliance, they couldn't escape the rules of the alliance. Humans were the core of the entire alliance. The warrior Blade River definitely had some background. If he were to be killed by one of them, his friends, teachers etc. would all come take revenge for him. It would be too easy to find them all. Looks like they haven't gone mad. Luo Feng thought. While these warriors may be greedy within, with so many spectators about, there were many more problems to think about. HMPH, the Hong Alliance may not interfere, but I'm not a member. Snowhorn said coldly. Hee, they can stand by and watch. Since he's retired, he's not protected by the army system. Hence, he has no relation to us. The many other warriors stared hard at Luo Feng. The vast number of other races in the universe used humanity to enter the outer region wars. The Hong Alliance was but a small portion of the human camp, but many others weren't part of it. While they may have some relation with humanity now, once they retired, they would return to their homes and have no connections to humanity. Hence, they didn't care about all this. Luo Feng kept Ji Hong in his world ring and stared coldly at everything. He had kept him outside initially with the plans of forcefully breaking through, now however with so many emperors around, it was impossible to do so. It was better to be alone. More are coming. Snowhorn gazed. Attention all, if we keep standing around, more would come to take the treasure. Attack. Kill. Tens of warriors all moved simultaneously. Since they were all from the same camp, they were not worried about being attacked by others after getting the treasure. Hence more than half of the group attacked. Very good. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Humph! He flapped his silver wings and unleashed strike travel. His beast god presence was incredibly high now, and his movement was even faster than before. The tens of warriors could only watch as the silver light arced around them and easily dodged all the attacks. Rumble. With so many attacks, the surrounding space was torn apart as the fragments flew madly about. This affected the other warriors greatly. However, with the fragments, it allowed Luo Feng to be like a fish in water, unaffected at all as his speed left them all stunned. The Hong Alliance members including Cha Mang Emperor, along with few that didn't participate, all watched on shocked. Blade River's instantaneous speed is absurd. With so many space fragments, he can actually change directions thousands to tens of thousands of times. His speed is incredible. Tens of warriors attacking him and none even got close. Too strong. With such terrifying speed, this Blade River can go anywhere in the vast universe. The spectating warriors all realized how terrifying he was. With such instantaneous speed, his survival ability was crazy. If not for the space lockdown, he could teleport away immediately. With it there, he could still move that fast, and under the gazes of countless warriors, he would still be able to get away. In awe. His survival ability was heavenly, unless one had a true treasure like the ice net or something, or special spirit weapon attacks, or soul illusions to affect him. They had to find a way to control his speed to deal with him, otherwise it was almost impossible. You want to affect me with these little soul attacks? Luo Feng was like a god howling, his voice booming in all the attackers' minds. I can get away easily enough. However, Snow Horn, you are detestable. A silver light flashed, and he was already beside Snow Horn. How can he be that fast? We have so many warriors and yet, we cannot hold him down. Snow Horn's eyes were blinded by a light, as he found himself staring straight at Luo Feng's cold eyes behind the silver helmet. He instantly understood, he wants to kill me. The 6 purple lit black balls appeared from Luo Feng's left hand. They were all sealed stars coated in the Fei Mo poison, and imprinted with the beast god Descend's sky-tearing claw. With a trigger of his powerful consciousness, a blurry projection of the beast god appeared. Howl! The right claw had the 6 sealed stars within, tearing downwards. Break! Snowhorn had a huge turtle-shelled beast image appear behind him, and 2 blades appeared in his arms, which became a huge scissor-like weapon. The huge right claw clashed with the scissors. The surrounding space fragments were instantly hit by the shockwaves and reduced to stream particles. The 6 sealed stars within the right claw were incredibly intrepid. Every little black ball far exceeded the power of a star. Kacha, Kacha, the scissors crumbled as the claw slashed through Snowhorn, who had no way to escape. Rumble, his god body instantly crumbled. In terms of strength, he was indeed an emperor limit. Luo Feng's current consciousness and spirit energy, with the general soul's help along with the powerful beast god presence, was only at the pinnacle emperor level. A pinnacle emperor with the help of true treasures could normally match an emperor limit, and even kill an emperor limit, like Purple Clock Emperor. Luo Feng relied on the star map, and he completely suppressed this emperor limit. 6 purple lit black balls pierced through the gathering fragments of Snowhorn. Every black ball was able to destroy about 5% of his god body, with 6 of them, that was about 30%. Trying to kill me without burning your undying energy, you must be dream, no. His body was just reforming as his eyes were suddenly filled with shock. He felt a special corrosive attack on his god body as it reformed, instantly destroying 35% of his god body. The 6 balls turned in the distance and once again became a howling beast god, its right claw descending once again. Die. Luo Feng looked on coldly. Blade River Emperor. A cold voice suddenly rushed into Luo Feng's mind. A powerful attack flew over from far. A over 300 m tall black lightning hammer tore through the air. Its speed was terrifying, as the broken space fragments were simply knocked aside. Peng! 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 The fragments were all reduced to stream particles as the black hammer caused Luo Feng's expression to change. Even with the Shouwu wings, I won't be able to dodge this. Go! He waved his left hand. 8 black balls swiftly flew over, and they were all infused with the laws within, forming a huge beast god projection in mid-air. Compared to the sky-tearing claw beast that got formed before, this one was obviously much more condensed and real. The 8 balls formed a beast god, with a long tail, which was a few hundred meters long. It swung like a whip forwards. Howl! The beast god howled as its tail whipped at the lightning hammer. Beast god armament second form, whip. The beast god armament had a total of 6 forms. The first was beast god descends, while the second was whip. This was the strongest move he could use after comprehending the Nan Shan 7 forms second volume. A blurry whip silhouette, and a majestic black lightning hammer, they clashed directly. The 8 sealed stars clashed hard with the hammer. Rumble. The tail whip instantly crumbled from the force. The 8 sealed stars were knocked away too, after which they flew back to Luo Feng's hands and landed in his left palm. This made him frown. The thunder hammer was knocked far away too. It shrank until it was only about 30+ meters, landing in the 20 m tall black armored giant with 3 horns on his forehead. He stared at Luo Feng too. Blade River. A voice boomed. Silver-winged Luo Feng immediately stood straight up and gazed into the distance, Black Tea Emperor. His voice resounding about. When the sealed star fell before, Black Tea didn't participate, but this didn't affect his reputation in any way. The 4 camps in the outer region wars all had terrifying beings, like Life Fall, Da Long, Nan Jing, 7 Blade and so on. They were all renowned figures. Black Tea was one that could match them as well. Even though he was from the human camp, he was from a distant universe region, and not from the Hong Alliance. He had a true treasure hammer named Black Tea, hence his name. It's Black Tea. He's actually here, and he is so fast. Blade River is in trouble, but Black Tea's terrifying strength. Back then, when he had fought with Da Long for quite a while, both of them decided that it was best to call a truce finally. Within the entire 7th battlefield, Black Tea is definitely one of the pinnacle beings. Blade River is disadvantaged. If Black Tea is here, Blade River's treasure isn't for us to take. Do you think you could ever get Blade River's treasure? With a flap of his wings, he'll easily leave you far behind. The distant other race warriors had all given up. They were clear that this level of being, even with 7 emperor limits combining forces, they would all be easily knocked back by him. Hence, the other warriors simply stayed back and watched the 2 battle. 2 silhouettes were floating in space with a distance between them. One was huge, while the other was tiny. However, both energies made the others around them tremble. He seems quite strong. The tall and demonic Black Tea's voice boomed. To be able to receive my hammer, he must be quite strong. Since I entered the outer region wars, this is the first time I'm actually dealing with a level of warrior like that. It really makes my blood boil. Come on, let me see if your reputation is well deserved. Luo Feng stared intensely from the other end and said, both sides filled with fighting spirit. Both of them were strong. Battling with other strong warriors and pursuing the limits of the universe, this was Luo Feng's ambition. Good. I'll let you see if my name is real. Black Tea's voice boomed as he rushed forward instantly. He became a lightning bolt, and his speed was terrifying. If he had tossed out his hammer, that hammer had a speed so fast that it even shocked Luo Feng initially. However, his own speed wasn't something Luo Feng actually bothered with. With the Showu wings, his own instantaneous speed far exceeded Black T's. Luo Feng flapped his wings and easily flew far away. Amidst the broken space fragments, his speed was demonic, easily dodging and changing directions. Go! 8 black balls floated in his left palm. The 8 black balls immediately revolved in space, and the lore engravings on them glowed with gold light. Luo Feng's terrifying willpower, that exceeded even that of knights, triggered the laws, and instantly a few 100-meter-long beast god formed. Howl! The beast god howled. It was actually a spirit weapon taking on this form, and its speed was absurd. It appeared before Black T, and instantly whipped its tail at him. Humph! Black T wielded his hammer and stepped forward, causing the large amount of space fragments to instantly become stream particles. He swung his hammer heavily. He had casually thrown it earlier, but this time he swung it with his full might. The beast god's tail actually recoiled and evaded the head-on clash with the hammer, whipping it back at Black T. So fast! Black T was shocked. He had used his full force to swing the hammer. Hence, he was unable to bring it back on time to defend. With a howl, he used his left hand to punch. A dark red metal covered his hand. It seemed like a special punch, as it triggered the laws, causing the space about to completely crumble into fragments. Rumble. The punch clashed with the tail whip. Black T's punch could easily smash through a star, however, he felt intense pain from this clash. Good. He actually howled malevolently, getting even crazier. Ha ha ha. Black T, your hammer's speed seems slower than before. The distant Luo Feng controlled the beast god to once again attack. In mid-air, the beast god flashed time and again. As it flashed, its tail grew even more demonic, occasionally whipping, and at other times recoiling. It was extremely fast, and it made the enemy unable to trace it. After all, even for normal animals, their tail whip movement was extremely fast. The beast god was the same. Rumble. Black T unleashed his strength. He swung his hammer against the beast god's tail over and over. Every time it hit, it knocked the 8 black balls far away. The only thing was that since Luo Feng was a spirit reader, even if the 8 sealed stars were knocked away, they could immediately gather and reform the beast god image, attacking once again. This was the difference between a spirit reader and fighter. The fighter couldn't back down. Once his weapons were knocked away, his body would take the blow. A spirit reader, however, even if his weapons were knocked away, as he would usually attack from afar, he could still reform his weapons and attack immediately. He actually blocked it over and over. Luo Feng was shocked as he controlled the 8 sealed stars. His usage of the hammer has changed too. Every attack has a revolving force, and with each attack, the force grows. Even if I make the tail dodge the attack, he would still be able to defend. Rumble. 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 The demonic Black T howled as he rushed at Luo Feng with his hammer. Every step was as fast as lightning. Even with the beast god's tail whipping at him, he easily knocked it away with a swing. It was almost like a huge car rushing forward, easily knocking away a bicycle. However, this bicycle simply reformed over and attacked again. What power! Luo Feng's expression changed, feeling the difference between himself and Black T. The rest of them who were watching this battle felt the same way. That toss earlier, I could still withstand it, probably because he didn't use too much force initially. Now that is serious, each blow is like a huge mountain crashing down. Even my 8 sealed stars are knocked away easily. Even with the 8 sealed stars, I'm still losing. I can only barely affect his speed. The bicycle may have been knocked away over and over again, however it still managed to slightly affect the car's speed. I'm not his match. If I go all out and let Fu Shui use his ice net on him, there would still be a chance. However, he hasn't even burnt his undying body. It's obvious he doesn't wish to go all out with me. Luo Feng thought. Since we've already tested each other's strength, it's time to go. However, before that, his gaze turned to Snowhorn Emperor. He couldn't forget the one that was most passionate about killing him. I'll deal with him first. The surrounding number of warriors kept growing. They all formed their own little teams and floated about, gazing from a distance at the fight. Black Tea was intrepid and powerful. Even with Blade River's full attacks, he easily knocked them away. However, Blade River remained far away, and Black Tea had no way to get close. Even if he rushed forward, Blade River could easily get away. Even though Blade River can easily deal with an Emperor limit, he still isn't a match for Black Tea. Black Tea's strength is heavenly. Even though his strength surpasses Blade River, but his speed cannot even touch him. The warriors around could all see this. Ha ha ha. Black Tea sure is powerful, much respect. But I'll be leaving first. His voice was filled with spirit energy, which resounded throughout the space. Luo Feng flapped his wings and formed a silver flash. With one flash, he once again reached Snowhorn Emperor. You? Snowhorn, who was with his teammates, changed his expression. Do you think you can take my treasures? You sure don't know your place. 6 purple-lit black balls formed a beast god projection, and howled as it rushed at Snowhorn. His teammates all actually dodged. Having seen his power, none of them dared to offend Blade River. Tear! The right claw tore Snowhorn apart, as the 6 balls instantly pierced through, destroying over 30% of his god body. Blade River. I will have my revenge. He howled in anger as he instantly self-destructed. He knew that he wasn't a match for Blade River, but he was still an Emperor limit. It was definite that he would be revived in the future. However, if he was forced into a coma and taken away, then he would have no hope left for revival. Rumble. The force of the shockwave rippled in all directions. An explosion with only 30% of his undying body left was something the Emperor limits could withstand against together. Only a few pinnacle emperors were heavily injured, but no one fell. Just like that, Snowhorn fell. With so many warriors watching him, Blade River left just as he said. Before he left, he even killed an Emperor limit Snowhorn Emperor, and the speed he displayed as he left made all the warriors around shake their heads and sigh. Even Black Tea, only when he tossed his hammer could he catch up to him. But he was clear too, that when he tossed his hammer, Luo Feng would immediately use the Beast God projection to defend. It wouldn't even affect his fleeing. In an instant, Blade River flew out of the space lockdown area, and with a teleport, he vanished from sight. What power, what speed! Black Tea's voice boomed. He sighed before he became a beam of light and vanished. The broken space fragments began to recover, and the continent that had been floating within the whirlpools for so long had been completely pierced through, revealing a huge hole with a diameter of hundreds of thousands of kilometers. Hundreds of warriors floated there, still stunned at the scene that just took place. Suddenly, a powerful energy appeared in mid-air. An armored metal person glowing with black light appeared, and his formless pressure spread out, causing the hundreds of human warriors to grow silent. It's Life Fall Emperor. It's the automaton Life Fall Emperor. He's from the automaton race. How'd he get here so fast? Haven't you heard that he gave out a bounty for Blade River's location? There were definitely some from the human camp that revealed the location earlier, allowing him to rush over. Almost all of the human warriors were emperors. However, there were many low and high emperors around. Against the powerful Life Fall, they didn't dare challenge him. Life Fall stood in space, gazing about. He roared, "Where's Blade River?" Life Fall. The warriors of the human camp may not dare challenge him, but that didn't mean they feared him. A warrior the size of a small mountain spoke, Blade River had just battled Black Tea and left right after. Along the way he even killed Snowhorn Emperor. He should have teleported via God Country far away by now. He fought Black Tea. Lifefall looked at the warrior. The warrior boomed, "You can see for yourself." A light projection appeared in mid-air, producing a 3D image. This was something that Earth had even back in the base era. However, the universe technology was obviously more advanced, as it was 100% simulation of the battle between Blade River and Black Tea that replayed before them. Lifefall watched on right until the end. Him and Black Tea both belonged to the pinnacle of beings in the outer region wars. At their level, they could see wonders and little things within the battles. Without a doubt, this battle was but a test from both sides. Unless they truly wanted to go all out, no one would actually burn their undying bodies. Black Tea and Blade River both didn't. Black Tea only used his most basic methods, his God Hammer. Lifefall muttered, he only used one of the 3 techniques. And Blade River? I heard he's most proficient in blade work, yet he used a spirit weapon this time. And he has Heavy Arrow as his slave. The report even said that Tien Chen and Ji Hong followed behind him. Tien Chen was saved by him, while Ji Hong is from another camp. For him to be so respectful, he should be his slave too. Just how many slaves does he have? His speed is crazy. His defense was renowned before, and now he even revealed a spirit weapon. Lifefall felt like this Blade River was truly mysterious, with so many trump cards. Just the fact that he didn't even let his slaves attack showed his own confidence. The many human warriors all looked at Lifefall, observing his reactions. When he finished viewing the battle, he was silent for a while before saying, "Blade River is worthy of his name, and even if he has true treasures, he deserves them." After which, he teleported away. Lifefall had left, however those words made the hundreds of warriors there shocked. Lifefall has recognized Blade River's strength. He recognizes that Blade River is worthy of his treasures. What a pity, looks like it'll be hard to see the both of them ever clash. Since Lifefall says so, no one will go after Blade River anymore. This fight has let Blade River prove his strength. The many warriors sighed. The circle of warriors was as such that only the strong were worthy of true treasures. The weak would have to be careful not to reveal their treasures. If not, they would be attacked. And Lifefall, even Seven Blade, which one of these beings didn't have many treasures? Seven Blade, his 7 blades alone were true treasures, along with the many others he had. Black Tea and Lifefall were similar. Everyone in the outer region wars knew about their treasures, yet no one ever attacked them for the treasures. This was strength. And this fight, with Blade River facing off against Black Tea, that was proof of his strength. It proved that he had that level of strength too. Maybe he was still weaker than Black Tea, but his speed and terrifying defense made him as hard to deal with as the others. This fight thus began to spread the legend of Blade River throughout the outer region wars. Countless warriors began to compare Blade River with Black Tea. Black Tomb, 7 Blade, Da Long etc. In their eyes, he may be slightly weaker than the others, but his speed would leave many in despair. I'd rather meet 7 Blade and Lifefall than meet Blade River. There's still a chance of fleeing against the others. However, against Blade River with Space Lockdown, who can outmatch him in speed? We won't be able to escape. Be careful to not mess with Blade River. Over 6,000 years ago, he could already withstand the blast of the strongest flame god crystal. But, right now he's even stronger. It's absurd. His defense is strong and his speed is crazy. It's better to avoid him. The legend of Blade River thus spread far and wide amongst the many warriors in the universe, making him a renowned being in the universe. Luo Feng, however, had already left Twin Whirlpools after that fight, teleporting straight to humanity. Virtual Universe Company Base. Luo Feng took on the form of his sector lord self, sitting in the virtual universe company ship, and headed straight to the primal region Primal Chaos City. Your Majesty! Your Majesty! The Emperor Undying in charge of the ship said respectfully. Luo Feng just smiled and nodded as he found a single cabin to rest in. Captain, is there a need to be that courteous with him? He's only a sector lord. With your strength as a high emperor, you can kill him with a wave of your hand. An undying member of the ship said. Beside him, the other members were all discussing. That's right, he just got lucky and became the disciple of the city leader. If not for that, he's only a sector lord, why bother? This trip was specially organized just for him. If it were normal sector lords, they'd have to wait till the numbers had tallied before we'd take off. The captain laughed. Even though he's only a sector lord and I can easily kill him, he is still the disciple of the city leader. We can say this secretly, but never ever say it out loud. If he chose to pursue the matter, no one can protect you all. We understand. Relax, Captain, we are not stupid. We are just saying, I just cannot stand his behavior, as if we are supposed to be respectful of him. The undying member said unhappily. The captain shook his head. It was normal to feel unjust as he felt that way too, but he still had to maintain absolute respect, if he wanted to climb up the ranks of the virtual universe company. If his strength was insufficient, he couldn't offend anybody. And a being like Luo Feng was one he definitely couldn't offend. Humph, the glory of the old days has passed. It's been close to 10,000 years after he became the disciple of the city leader, yet I've never heard of him having any achievements. He's probably been forgotten by many. The captain thought. The ship flew to a stop in the air above the city. Your Majesty! Your Majesty! With the captain leading, the members all sent off Luo Feng respectfully. Luo Feng gazed at the primal chaos energy that engulfed the ancient city below. Ever since he became the disciple of the city leader, he had gotten the rights to be a permanent resident here. Actually, even with his level on the heavenly bridge alone, he already had that right. Primal Chaos City, True Yang's residence. Luo Feng rushed into the residence, seeing some disciples in name along with other true disciples. Senior Luo Feng. Many disciples within shouted passionately at him. Luo Feng asked them to find out where True Yang's current living quarters was. After a while, he rushed into a yard and stopped suddenly. I've heard you from far away, why aren't you coming in? True Yang's voice resounded from the yard. Luo Feng smiled and entered the door. True Yang sat there with a wave, the doors shut. Have you come with nothing to see me? True Yang sat there and looked at Luo Feng, seemingly cold and indifferent. Luo Feng however smiled and with a flip of his hand, brandished a red wine bottle. This was about the size of a palm, and was peculiarly shaped, almost like an orangutan shape, with complex engravings carved on its surface, and it glowed with fire law energies. Luo Feng placed this bottle on his teacher's table. According to what you said, I have to bring wine to visit you. Luo Feng said seriously, I wonder if this satisfies you. Very satisfied. True Yang stared wide-eyed at this burning wine bottle. After careful observation, he extended his furry hand to touch it, nodding, indeed, this is it. Damn, only those with huge amounts of wealth and humanity can afford this, and even so, this would take an emperor limit's entire wealth. There's extremely few such wine amongst humanity. I've only tried one glass before, I didn't expect. Hee. True Yang immediately smiled happily. My good disciple, the powerful Blade River Emperor, looks like your rewards from the outer region wars have been huge. Hee. Luo Feng smiled. It was huge indeed. Part 1 end here.